is default. There we go. I think we're in business. Apologies for that, guys. We've got sound. Fairly sure we've got sound. There we go. Done and dusted. Right, you guys should be able to hear me. I'll just start that again. What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Manchester City live watch-along. It's the game against Brentford. With you guys not being able to hear, I was just waffling about Man City. You know, we've got to beat Brentford. We're 5 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal, they've got to try and beat West Ham tomorrow. It's important we get them under pressure. And if Man City have got any chance to get Arsenal under pressure today by making some games on goal difference, then we've got to be all over that. Because if we're not all over that, then, you know, it becomes very difficult. We don't win here. I'd probably go as far to say that, you know, it's our season relies on success next week against Chelsea, really, at Wembley Stadium and trying to win the FA Cup. So if we want to win the Premier League, it's a simple case. Our next 2 games are 2 home games against Brentford, against Crystal Palace. We've got to win them. Arsenal fans might be chatting about, you know, Brentford have got potential Champions League football to be aiming for and a lot to play for, which, yes, they do have a lot to play for. We also have a lot to play for here as well in trying to win the Premier League. And, you know, it's a home game for us. We've got to turn up and we've got to try and pick up and win this game. And we'll see what ends up happening from there. So, yeah, big game this one against Brentford. A couple of surprising calls made in the lineup, but it is something that we managed to pick up on in my preview, and yeah, we'll speak more about that in just one moment. So don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying the content, then please do leave a thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. Aiming for 100 likes already, making some good gains. 88 likes to go now to 100. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts. If you're watching this after the stream, then get your thoughts in the comments below. If you're live right now, then do feel free to pop in, say hello, let me know where you're tuning in from, and also what your score predictions are ahead of today's game. I'll come and say hello to the chat in just one moment, and we've also got the poll live as well, where you want to leave your votes about who you think is going to win today's game between Manchester City and Brentford, which quite surprising. Chat's normally quite positive. 72% going with a Man City win, 22% very high going with a Brentford win, 6% going with a draw. So, Opta, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We'll speak about the teams. Not happy, though, with the lack of midfield presence. Reckon City might be losing this game. Geffin, welcome. Says not feeling too confident. Reckons Doku might score and go in 1-0 Manchester City. Jessica, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. It is much appreciated. Also helping to moderate today's chat. So, no real rules here on the JSGC channel. Just please keep things clean and no spoiling it for others. I'm watching on Now TV again, which is a stick that's pretty much used here in the UK that I access Sky Sports through, who are broadcasting today's game between Man City and Brentford. It does mean, though, because it's used through a streaming platform, it ends up being about, I'd say, about 20 to 30 seconds behind real time, which means if you guys are watching in real time, you might be ever so slightly ahead. It's why I put the clock on, so you can just sync up and you know exactly where I'm up to in the game, and I'd appreciate nobody spoiling it for me, because then I can't give my genuine, authentic reactions, and also spoiling it for other people as well, which is a big no-no. So me and the other moderators in the chat, anyone spoiling it, boot them out, please. That would be much appreciated. But Jessica, helping to moderate today's chat. Welcome, Jessica. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for doing that for me. It is much appreciated. Geffin, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Tito, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I've apologised for the audio issues. I don't know why it never picked up on the microphone problems. I was expecting that to come last week in the streams, yet it was all good and then showed all clear as I'd joined in on here, and then for some reason it wasn't. But yeah, here we are. John, yeah, my impression of Charlie Chaplin. We could have just done mimes, couldn't we, really? If we can't communicate through sound, we'll just do it through mimes. Everell, thank you for tuning in. We do need a win, my friend. Hoping that we can win. And as you say, West Ham end up winning their game as well. Would be the perfect way to head into this weekend. Dave, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Got some positivity. I'm not giving up just yet. I fancy if City can win today, there's still a chance, and I think that's the case here with this Premier League title race. It's just putting ourselves in a position that if Arsenal do slip up, we're ready to try and overtake them. To do that, though, we've got to win this game. Greg, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Says must-win game for City tonight. Going with a 3-0. I like that positive. Going with a 3-0 Manchester City win. Retro, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Cheering on Brentford today. Jessica going with a narrow 2-1, I presume, Man City win. Everall doesn't want to give a prediction. That's fair enough. Just praying, hoping that Haaland can deliver. I hope so as well. Dave, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Going with a 2-0 Manchester City win. Fingers crossed, I'll take a 2-0 Manchester City win every day of the week as well. Tito, I'll speak about that Reijnders selection in just one moment. And Geffen, I'll speak about the Khusanov absentee as well. Jessica says watching the game today with her mother. It's a Mother's Day weekend over in the USA as well. So a big happy Mother's Day to your mother, Jessica. And also all the mothers from around the world as well. John says this season everyone has been dropping points, not over just yet. We need a win. Of course, it could happen. It wouldn't surprise me if Man City pick up a win, a narrow win today, and West Ham take points off Arsenal tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen because it's the business end of the season. You know, games that look straightforward, look easy. You know, relegation team like West Ham taking points off the team sitting in first, 5 points clear of Man City right now. You don't think that's going to happen, but it can. West Ham have got plenty to play for. They need points. They need wins if they want to stay up. And business end of the season, it's all about taking on good quality teams. There's no such thing as a bad team in the Premier League. You can have teams who are in bad form, who are struggling with confidence, that kind of thing. But West Ham will be looking at that game from a point of view that if they can win that game, then that could be the result that changes their fortunes, that turns their confidence around, and they end up then picking up successful results for their remaining games and end up staying in the Premier League. They can use that game against Arsenal tomorrow as the catalyst because it's so important for West Ham. Because I think if West Ham lose tomorrow, I think they're going to get relegated. And I think Tottenham Hotspur will be all over Leeds United on Monday night if West Ham end up dropping points. Yeah, if West Ham end up taking points off Arsenal, even end up beating Arsenal, I could potentially see Tottenham then dropping points and all of a sudden the relegation battle then turns on its head along with the Premier League title race. And it's just one of them real unpredictable kind of seasons because remember a few weeks back when Man City beat Arsenal, every single football pundit out there was saying that Manchester City are now favourites to win the Premier League. They expect Man City to use their experience to go out, win their remaining games. Arsenal crumble like they normally do, and Man City go on to win the Premier League and probably end up winning the Premier League with a game or two to spare, which is something that we've seen from Arsenal time and time again. But Arsenal have showcased in the Champions League that they're a team that's matured, a team that knows how to get the job done. They're a team that potentially are capable of winning the Premier League. Manchester City have also showcased their quality a lot, probably since, I'd say, the end of March. They've showcased their quality since we've come back after the international break. And the only real negativity that we've had was against Everton, and that was through a crazy, 25 minutes that we had in the second half, which, as Bernardo Silva had pointed out, it was all to do with controlling the game, which Man City had lacked. Had they managed to control them 25 minutes, we'd have probably gone on to score 2 or 3 goals like we did against Everton, and Everton end up coming away at most with a goal, and Man City come away with the 3 points, and Man City end up, being right in this title race, and it's in our hands, and it's in Arsenal's hands, and it comes down to the goal difference thing, but it's just not the case. But things can just turn on their head through each Premier League match day. So we've been here enough times. We know that we just need to lock in, focus. 4 Premier League games to go. win our 4 Premier League games. You know, our next 2 games over the course of the next, 4 days or so. Both home games against Brentford and a home game against Crystal Palace, which on paper you'd look at and you'd expect Man City to win both of them games. Brentford still got a lot to play for, competing to play in Europe next season. Crystal Palace, I can see it as good practice ahead of their Europa Conference League final game that they've got just as the season comes to an end. So for me, there's still so much still left to sort, and I can still see 1 or 2 surprising results. Whether that's going to be Man City that drop points, you look at the fixtures and the teams that City have still got to play, and you'd say maybe, because we've still got to play teams who've got a lot to play for, like Brentford, like AFC Bournemouth, potentially Aston Villa as well. Arsenal, realistically, the only team they've got to play with anything to play for, who are going to be motivated, is against West Ham tomorrow. So that's the most realistic game that Arsenal could drop points in. But any of you guys are big American Dad fans, Roger, the alien in the episode, goes on to say about the team. The team was full of losers. They've not won a game all year, but they're taking on the team that's going to be the champions. And he says in the episode, you know, we can't be winners, but we can be spoilers, is what he says. And that's going to be the case for Brentford, for Crystal Palace, for AFC Bournemouth, for Aston Villa. They'll be looking at Man City, and if we're in a position to win the Premier League, they're going to want to spoil the party, and it's the same for Arsenal. West Ham obviously need it for themselves, but Burnley, Crystal Palace, they'll be looking at their games and they'll go, I quite fancy spoiling the party. And I can see the likes of Burnley and Crystal Palace dragging their heels a little bit. They're not going to be fluent, fun games, and you end up getting to, the hour mark, and you've not got the game where you want it to be, which, both Man City and Arsenal want to be in a position where they've scored 2 or 3 goals and got a clean sheet intact, and they're ready to pick up the 3 points. If you're not in that position, then these teams are going to fancy their chances of maybe doing something, and if you get into a game that's a must-win game, and it's 0-0 by the time it hits the 70th minute, you're hitting panic stations. So the question is, are Man City and or Arsenal going to get into them positions? So for me, it could still happen in any of the games that they've got remaining. And whilst that is the case, and there's still a chance that City can win the league, then I want to remain optimistic that City could do something. And as I pointed out when we scored that last-minute equaliser against Everton, just how important could that Jeremy Doku equaliser be? Because if we win against Brentford here, and Arsenal lose against West Ham tomorrow, goal difference is irrelevant, and Man City have everything in their own hands. So things become very interesting. So just, I think, something to keep an eye on. Right. I do want to say a big thank you, guys, to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. They've done their match day number 36 pools, which have been available. If any of you guys have been watching my predictions or previews, you'll know about My Best 11 Pro. But they've got their pools available ahead of match day number 37 that you can go and join as well. Both pools worth £100, £1 entry fee per pool. Do go check out My Best 11 Pro and join them. It's paying up to the top 5 places. I've really enjoyed playing, so I'm sure you guys would as well. So do go and check them out. Links and details there in the description, or also you can use the link in the chat as well. That would be much appreciated. As I said,
My Best 11 is fantasy football with real stakes. Think you're the sharpest football mind in the room? Put your knowledge to the test with My Best 11, the ultimate fantasy football experience where you build your dream team, compete with other players and friends, and win real cash. How it works is simple. My Best 11 has 3 modes. In fantasy mode, pick your best 11 players plus subs and enter into each game week. The higher up the leaderboard you finish each week, the bigger the prize you will receive. In Showdown, predict the outcome, win big. You predict the results of each game in a round of weekly fixtures, whether it be a win, loss or draw. Rack up points for every correct pick, climb the leaderboard and get a share of the prize pot if you place high enough. Unlike accumulators, if you get an incorrect prediction, don't worry, you're not out of the race yet, and you can still win. In Event Predictor, get specific and win on the fine margins. Will both teams score? How many yellow cards will there be? How many corners? Event Predictor lets you forecast key moments in a single game and rewards you for getting it right. Choose from a variety of in-game events. Lock in your predictions before kickoff. More right answers equals more points equals more winnings. It's as simple as that. The great thing about My Best 11 is that up to 40% of people on our app are guaranteed to win something. With tiered prizes for first, second and third place, 4th to 10th place, 10th to 20th place, and 20th to 30th place across each of our game modes. The more people join, the bigger the pot, the larger the prize. My Best 11 is where football knowledge pays off, literally. Download the free version of our app today and try out all 3 modes.
Right, players have made their way out of the tunnel and out into the Etihad Stadium ahead of today's game between Manchester City and Brentford. So let's have a look at the teams. A 4-2-3-1 formation for Brentford, starting with Kelleher in goal. Coyote starts on the right-hand side. It's Hickey that's given the nod on the left-hand side, with Ajer and Collins starting as the 2 centre-backs. Yarmouk and Jensen as the 2 holding midfielders, with Damsgaard further ahead of them. Lewis Potter given the nod out on the right-hand side, with Shade on the left-hand side, and Igor Thiago starting as the striker. Remember, Premier League second top goal scorer and a player that Man City need to keep quiet in this game. Now, I'm not 100% sure as to why Sepp van der Berg's on the bench and not starting in this game, but here we are. He's on the bench along with Ethan Pinnock, Jordan Henderson, Josh Da Silva, Reece Nelson, Hakon Valdemarson, Dango Utara, Vitali Janelt, and Kay Furrow, led by manager Keith Andrews. Some big calls there. Utara, I was expecting to start this game. Jordan Henderson, past fit for this game. You'd have expected him to potentially start this game. I'd expect to see Van den Berg starting this game. Good options from the bench, though, to be relied upon. Reece Nelson, Da Silva, Pinnock, Janelt. Some good players there for Brentford. You can see why, with a good manager in Keith Andrews, very well drilled, a very well organised team. Just a good, solid Premier League team that, through consistency, find themselves in a spot where potentially they could end up finishing in the top 6 spaces, which would be European football. And if Aston Villa end up winning the Europa League and finish 5th, 6th place in the Premier League will become a Champions League spot. So that's what Brentford and Bournemouth and Brighton, and still just about Chelsea, are all competing for to try and get Champions League football for next season. Should Aston Villa finish 4th, then it does mean that Champions League won't go to 6th, and the 6th spot will end up being a Europa League spot, which still would be a tremendous achievement for the likes of Brentford, for Brighton, for Bournemouth. So we'll see what does happen. Now, Manchester City, led by manager Pep Guardiola, 4-2-3-1 formation. Donnarumma starts in goal. It's Nunes on the right, O'Reilly on the left, and Guehi and Ake as Man City's 2 centre-backs for today. Into midfield, you've got Bernardo Silva partnering Tijjani Reijnders. Further ahead of them is Rayan Cherki. Antoine Semenyo goes on one side, Jeremy Doku on the other, and Premier League top goal scorer Erling Haaland leads the line for Manchester City. On the bench, James Trafford, the return of Ruben Dias, John Stones, Omar Marmoush, Mateo Kovacic, Nico Gonzalez, Rayan Ait-Nouri, Savinho, and Phil Foden. Not surprised to see Man City rotate a little bit. I spoke about in my preview the importance of Man City not doing full rotation for any of the games, in particular after we've still got plenty to play for, including trying to win the FA Cup and competing to try and win the Premier League. Whilst that's still on the page for Manchester City, it's going to be a case that if you're going to rotate, at most, I'm expecting it to be 3 or 4 players. Realistically, because we've still got between now and the end of the season 5 games to play, I'd expect 1 or 2 changes per game. Obviously, with Tijjani Reijnders coming into the lineup, it means that Nico Gonzalez gets a little rest here. He could be very important for Manchester City. It could be a little tactical change being made by Pep Guardiola. I suspect that he's not expecting Brentford to be all that physical, and he wants to go with creativity, because Pep Guardiola maybe feels like all-out attack here is his best option of Man City scoring goals and winning this game, which obviously City may be looking towards keeping one eye on the goal difference, if that is to be the case, as we do have kickoff in this game. I'm also looking towards, because I thought Phil Foden might have started this game. He doesn't. That's a blow for Phil Foden. When he does next start, and he will start a Premier League game, I guarantee you, between now and the end of the season, he needs to grab that opportunity with both hands. Interesting, Kadir Khusanov's picked up a knock in training, so he's not fully fit, so he's not available for today's game. That's why he's not in the squad, and because he's not in the squad, it means Nathan Ake comes into the team. Nathan Ake was a player I was expecting to come into the team. I was expecting, though, for Khusanov to be fit, and he'd be partnering Guehi, and Ake would go on the left-hand side, which would free up Nico O'Reilly to go into midfield, which is what I thought may have happened, but it's not been the case, and it's Tijjani Reijnders that's given the nod here and a big opportunity for him. So, big calls there made by Manchester City. Plenty of good options on the bench. Great to see Ruben Dias back on the bench as well. Rodri still not fully fit. He's in a race to be fit for the end of the season. So, we'll see what does happen in terms of that. And yeah, that's pretty much that with Manchester City. It's just the case now. Trying to score goals and try and win this game. Right, I'm going to end my poll. 76% of you guys thinking Man City are winning this game. 18% with Brentford and 6% with a draw. So, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Aiming for 100 likes now. What are we? 82 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. And do subscribe and do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Links and details they have been. They are in the description. Everett, it's match time. And Jessica, what's my thoughts on Bernardo and Reijnders in midfield? It's a bit lightweight. For my liking. I don't like lightweight midfield because Premier League tends to be quite physical, and you know, Brentford can be physical. So, interesting call to be made to not go with the extra presence in midfield. But I just think it's City that's looking for creativity is what they're going for here. So we'll see if that works. We'll see if it won't. I think that's just Pep Guardiola tinkering with things. What's your thoughts on that? Right, here's Jeremy Doku. First chance for Man City to get forward here. And he has a shot, and it slips through the fingers of Kelleher, and Brentford will be able to clear their lines. Doku just cuts in left-hand side onto his right foot. First shot of the game. Remains 0-0, though. Here's Nathan Ake, then. Works it to Jeremy Doku. Coyote's going to be in for a busy afternoon. Doku again, skipping in, trying to centralise it. Brentford can get it clear. Surprised they're not taking up double teaming on Jeremy Doku. I don't give it long before they try and do that approach, because you can't have Jeremy Doku keep doing one-on-ones with Coyote, because there's only going to be one winner. That's a big danger, and Doku's been in brilliant form. He was brilliant against Everton, picked up a couple of goals, and he'll be looking to try and build on that in this game as well. So an early opportunity, that one, as it gets cut back here again. Man City just carving Brentford open like cake. Brentford pushing hard to try and get this one clear under pressure. Takes a touch from Doku, and I think that'll be a throw-in for Brentford. So a couple of early opportunities for Manchester City. Tijjani Reijnders it was, gets a good pullback, but you know, Erling Haaland had gambled to the back post. Reijnders could have dinked that over the keeper looking for the back post, but he was looking for the pullback. And I just wonder if City are wanting to go with their extra attacking options. Would they not have been better going with Omar Marmoush alongside Erling Haaland? Because that area that Tijjani Reijnders just pulled it back into is an area that I'd expect to see a second striker. It's Bernardo Silva who's going to be playing in a deeper role because of the lack of presence in defensive midfield for Manchester City today. So I just wonder if it were more worthwhile about seeing the extra attacker here. It does mean someone like Tijjani Reijnders would miss out, or Bernardo Silva, but we'll see what does happen. Good skills there by O'Reilly, and it looks like Man City are going with more of a flat three at the back. Ake playing on the left-hand side, Nunes on the right, and Guehi going through the middle. Seamus, welcome, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, good shout with Ake. I like Ake, he's a good player. I actually think Ake is a player I'd like to see Man City keep hold of this summer. I just feel like there's obviously going to be changes with John Stones leaving. We've already replaced him with Marc Guehi. There's talk that Ake could leave. I'd quite like to see Ake. He's got one more year left on his contract. I'd like to see Ake see out his contract and give us an extra year because I just think he's a really good player, a really good, solid option. And letting John Stones and Nathan Ake leave in one window is very difficult. His shade up against Guehi points to Matheus Nunes to say, go and deal with that. I need to try and deal with the big threat of Igor Thiago. And it's a good opportunity today for Marc Guehi to showcase after his disappointment. As a cross comes in from Brentford, too deep and out for a goal kick. Yeah, after Marc Guehi's disappointment against Everton on Monday evening, his back pass ultimately led to the goal from Barry and led really to Man City's downfall in that second half. He'll be looking to try and put in a really good dominant display here to get his confidence, the juices flowing again to showcase, I am a quality player. And I feel like, obviously, he can't go one-on-one with Erling Haaland because he plays on the same team as him. A good way of him to showcase that, he's over that and he's here to showcase his quality is to go up against the next top Premier League goal scorer in Igor Thiago. And that's just something that Marc Guehi's going to have to try and deal with in this game. There's a bit of tussling going on between Coyote and Jeremy Doku. He wants a free kick. Referee says no free kick, and Brentford look to try and thread a pass through. Cut off well there by Nathan Ake and out for a throw-in. Again, Doku leads the protest there. Not happy that he's not had a free kick given in his favour. It was just a long ball played into the channel. Doku got under control. Coyote's got both hands wrapped around Jeremy Doku there. And then grabs him, tussles with him and pulls him down. What's really interesting there is, had that ball bounced over Coyote, that would have been Doku in, and that probably would have been a free kick, but because it's not, it ends up a long throw comes in, and what's the keeper doing? He's flapped. Nunes gets it clear. You see, Gianluigi Donnarumma, as much as I like him, as much as I think he's a cracking goalkeeper, he's got to be so much stronger there. If you're a goalkeeper who's coming out for the ball, you've got to win that ball. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm fed up of time and time again, every time a ball comes into the box and a question gets asked to Donnarumma and Donnarumma doesn't get there, of him moaning and complaining about there being a free kick. Premier League's a physical league. You want to go and collect that ball, go and collect that ball. Donnarumma he's 6'6". He's allowed to barrage himself through the horde of players to go and win that ball, and he wouldn't get penalised for it. He's got to be so much stronger. And I think that's just something that James Trafford has really improved on this season. And I think James Trafford, in terms of a rounded goalkeeper, has come on leaps and bounds since we saw James Trafford at the beginning of the season to where we find him now. Because I think James Trafford would have the sense that if the ball's there for him to come out and collect, obviously he's already got the English Football League and Premier League experience, so he knows what he's doing. I just think Donnarumma's got a lot to learn. A lot to learn. I'm not a big fan of him keep going down and moaning and complaining and asking questions of the referee and wants a free kick all the time. It doesn't happen in the Premier League. It doesn't happen. Deal with it. I want to see him deal with it. That's a poor ball given away there by Manchester City. Really well read by Damsgaard, and it's really well read by Bernardo Silva too. Really well read by Bernardo. Seamus, weak in the air. Jessica says, Gijo, too big, not agile enough. I just think Donnarumma's got quite a lot of improvement that he could do, and his aerial abilities, I think, is one way of him going about it. Tito says one of the reasons Enrique let him go. To be fair, PSG have kind of already, showcased, the quality without really the need of a high quality goalkeeper. In fact, aren't they playing their backup goalkeeper at the minute, and they're not really feeling too much of an impact on it. I mean, look at prime Barcelona under Pep Guardiola. It was it Victor Valdez in goal. A good goalkeeper. He's not the first name I think of when I think of high quality goalkeepers. So goalkeepers are important, but they're not influential. And as long as your team can play really well, the role of the goalkeeper for a team that likes to attack, like Man City like to play, is all I'd be looking for is to ensure that if a team's having a shot, they can make saves, and when balls get put into the box, the goalkeeper can come out and collect them. Which is why I'm such a big advocate for James Trafford, because I feel like in terms of a well-rounded goalkeeper that we've got, I feel like James Trafford ticks the boxes more than what Donnarumma does. Doesn't mean I think James Trafford's a better goalkeeper than Donnarumma. It's just I think James Trafford suits Man City more than what Donnarumma does. Donnarumma's the kind of goalkeeper who he reminds me of an old-fashioned goalkeeper. He just wants to play in goal, face shots, and make saves. And he's one of, if not the best at being able to do that. But there's more in the modern day for a goalkeeper. And in the Premier League, you've got to be strong. Got to be strong. Chad, welcome. Jean, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Into the 12th minute here at the Etihad, 0-0. Not the best of balls forward there by Manchester City, looking for Jeremy Doku, and Kelleher will intercept for Brentford, and he'll look to try and get them going again through Collins at the back. Man City look to try and push forward. Rayan Cherki, he's struggled a little bit to get involved in the game at the minute. A couple of wayward passes, a couple of heavier passes that I'm sure he'll be looking to try and improve on as the game goes on. Through first 12 minutes, a couple of questions asked by Jeremy Doku at the minute. That's a good through ball looking for shade, and Nathan Ake is going to be strong, and he's going to be barged out of the way, and eventually a free kick given there for Manchester City. A bit too easy for that ball played through there. I'm not entirely sure Shade's offside. He's not offside, so that's good defending by Nathan Ake. Really good defending. He's looking across. He knows Ake's won the foot race, so he just leans into Ake there. Shade will argue shoulder to shoulder, but Ake, because he gets there first, he leans more into him. Here's Donnarumma to Guehi. I don't think Trafford did too much wrong against Southampton. The goal that they scored was a fantastic effort. I don't feel like Donnarumma would have saved the goal that Southampton scored. And Trafford will be given his opportunity again in the FA Cup final. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I think Trafford's the world's best goalkeeper, and I think he's at the top of his game, because I don't. I think he's got a long way to go. I just think we're crossing a bridge in the summer where we're looking at two goalkeepers with two different styles, and you've got to commit one way or the other. Because one of the goalkeepers has got to leave. And I'd be gutted to see one of them leave, to be honest. Oh dear, Jean, hope you feel better soon. Atlanta, welcome, thank you for tuning in. I'm good, thank you very much. Hoping I can feel even better with a Man City win here. As Rayan Cherki commits a silly free kick there on Aaron Hickey. They've got themselves a free kick. Sorry, not Aaron. Was it Aaron Hickey that he committed it on? Yeah, Aaron Hickey it was. Just a bit late there from Cherki. Trying to chip at the heels. And Damsgaard, Danish international, comes over to take. Although Jensen stood over it. This is where Brentford will be looking to try and implement, good quality set pieces. Balls into the box. Collins is massive. Thiago's a decent unit. Azure's in there too, so yeah, some defending here for Man City to do. Who's going to take this one then? It's going to be Jensen. Puts the ball in and straight at Donnarumma, who just gets a fist on it and gets it clear. gets the job done, and Brentford will just work this one back. I can't see Vinny Jr. joining Manchester City. Bit poisonous at Real Madrid at the minute with all that stuff going on with Valverde and Tchouaméni. I was thinking to myself, where was all this Valverde aggro when we were playing Real Madrid? We could have done with him getting involved in fights, getting fines, and in particular Valverde not being on the pitch. We could have done with that. It's a good ball into the box by Brentford, headed clear by Marc Guehi. Does well to get his head onto that, and that'll go out for a throw-in for Brentford. So Brentford now asking some questions of Manchester City. And City don't look comfortable right now, is how I'm going to describe this. Don't look comfortable. I'd 100% take Krupi from Bournemouth. I think he's only a teenager. He's having a great season. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Links and details, they are in the description. As we're now, 78 likes away from 100. Coyote then, got a good long throw on him. He's going to launch this one into the box. Not the best of throws in. A shot that comes in, blocked by Antoine Semenyo. Not seen too much of Semenyo so far. Looked offside there, and the offside flag will go up now. And that'll be a free kick for Manchester City. So they managed to weather another storm from Brentford being chucked forward as Pep Guardiola's a cagoule that he's got on. A cagoule. Here's Semenyo then. Drives by one, tries to get past the second, can't. Good defending, really good defending. Is that Hickey getting back and defending well? There's a good defender, Hickey. Here's Matheus Nunes though. City managed to win it back to Tijjani Reijnders. Matheus Nunes centralises this one to Guehi. He's got options here on the left. Ake's going to work this first time to Doku on the left flank. Goes up against Coyote once more. Again, just happy for him to do a one-on-one with Doku. Very dangerous game. Cross comes in. They can't... Brentford, I'm telling you right now, they can't afford to do this. They cannot afford to do this. You can't allow Jeremy Doku to be going one-on-one with your defenders. You need to double team him, triple team him to try and keep him quiet. And they're not. And I'm amazed that they're not. Did they not watch the Everton game? Doku was outstanding. His pace alone is going to cause problems, but, he's worked hard to develop end product this season, and he's having a good season for City. Very dangerous, very electric. He's City's main threat. It's another ball that gets played into the box there by Doku. Can't find a City player, but everything's just running through Doku, and you fancy he's going to get something right, and when he does and it's put on the money, he's going to get himself an assist. And he seems to be going from strength to strength, Jeremy Doku, which is fantastic because, I mentioned at the beginning of the season about as O'Reilly gets into a good position. There's Bernardo Silva outside of his foot, shot comes in and it's wide. Worthy of an effort there from Bernardo Silva, but always too much on it and wide of the post. Good skills that by Doku to find O'Reilly in the first place. Does well there, Bernardo, to find an effort. It's not really close, but it's worthwhile asking the question. Erling Haaland's not had any touches of the ball yet. Which is mental. I'll go back to a question that was asked before. I can't find it on the chat now. Apologies for that. It said thoughts on Bruno Fernandes winning the journalists' player of the year, which I'd have thought they'd have given it to Declan Rice. He's probably been one of Arsenal's most standout players. If you're not going to give it to him and you want to go towards a defensive player, likes of Saliba or Gabriel, is where you thought they'd have gone with it, but gone with Bruno Fernandes, having a real good season with his assists, of course. Here's Doku. Ball comes in to Haaland, and there, Haaland should score. I said we've been waiting for Doku to put one on the money. It's on the money. It's on his head. It's just, 7 yards out there. It's a beautiful ball in from Jeremy Doku. It's a free header for Erling Haaland. He should score. He should score. He gets his header wrong. It's a beautiful ball from Doku. Guehi there has his pockets picked. Semenyo can't keep that one, and that'll be a throw-in for Brentford. A very strong, very powerful Igor Thiago. Is he Brazilian, I think? Is he off to the World Cup with Brazil? Yeah, surely they're not ignoring 22 goals in a Premier League season. Surely not. That doesn't get ignored. Anyway, here's Bernardo Silva then to Tijjani Reijnders. He's got Jeremy Doku now. Tijjani Reijnders wanted the pass from Doku. He doesn't receive it. Want to see a bit more from Tijjani Reijnders, given an opportunity here today. He's coming together there between... I think it's just a tangle of legs. I don't think there's anything else in that for me. O'Reilly wants a free kick for it, but I don't think that's a free kick. I think it's just a coming together of legs. I think they're both looking towards the ball. Yeah, leg gets tangled. He goes down. Not a free kick, that for me. Brentford working it out from the back. One ball comes forward. Igor Thiago gets a flick on, a really nice flick on. There's a foot race here for Shade and Matheus Nunes. Lovely defending from Matheus Nunes. He wants a free kick. Obviously it'd be a red card because it would be one-on-one if it was to be a free kick. It's good. Brentford are going to get a free kick now. They want VAR to have a look at this, the Brentford players asking the referee. Let's have a look at this. Very clever work from Igor Thiago, it's almost like a target man. I think Matheus Nunes just slips at the really important part of this foot race. So I think the bigger question here is, does Matheus Nunes make contact with Coyote? And I think it's a difficult one because Matheus Nunes is slipped, so as he's going down, his hands are going down, and as his hands go down, his hands is what makes contact with Shade, and Shade feels the contact and goes down. Now, I don't think that's a free kick. Purely on the basis that it's completely accidental that he's lost his foot in. Now, if he trips him up purposefully, I'd say it's a free kick, it's a red card. He doesn't, he slips. Shade feels the contact and decides to go down. I feel like he wants a free kick, he wants the sending off, but I think that's the right decision. There's a good position that for Brentford as well. I can't see City selling anybody to Arsenal, to be honest. Atlanta, can't see that. Here's Reijnders. He has a shot, and that's going to go out for a corner. Is that City's first corner of the game? What can City do from this set piece? So, guys, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Still 28 likes away from 50. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here, and do check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Links and details, they are in the description. Corner taken short. Doku works it to Rayan Cherki. Here is Tijjani Reijnders in a bit of space, has a shot and gets too much on that over the top and into the crowd. Remains 0-0 here at the Etihad Stadium. City just looking a bit frustrated. Could do with a goal. Just to ease a bit of anxiety, to ease the way into the game. And yeah, at the minute, not really asking many questions other than that big Doku chance after 2 minutes. Not really tested Kelleher, and Brentford now wasting some time. City players and crowd let the referee know that they feel like the time was being wasted there, and let the referee know. Cherki finds Doku. O'Reilly in a little bit of space. Works it back to Nathan Ake. So you've seen a lot of combos. It's almost like a two up top from Brentford. Shade playing off the shoulder of Igor Thiago. And he's got 5 at the back and 3 in midfield supporting. Issue is, you have the likes of Lewis Potter that wants to get forward, and it ends up leaving Coyote here up against Jeremy Doku a little bit more isolated. There's a lot of man marking going on. It's Coyote's job to deal with Jeremy Doku, and it's going to be Lewis Potter's job to deal with O'Reilly. Brentford will look to try and be physical here, like Everton's approach. City have done a good job in navigating that through the first 25 minutes here. Here's Doku, though, up against Coyote. Coyote steps forward, gets a foot onto the ball. Doku does well to keep hold of it. receives a little push in the back before Rayan Cherki takes the ball under control, and Marc Guehi now receives the ball, works it to the right-hand side. Here's Semenyo. One-on-one then with Hickey. Damsgaard comes over to try and help with support. Semenyo's got a bit of space, hooks it in. Haaland finds the header and heads it down, does well. Unfortunately, isn't to either side of the goalkeeper. Straight down Kelleher's throat, and he'll collect and counts as a shot on target. But it again remains 0-0 here at the Etihad between Manchester City and Brentford, as we're now 27 lights guides away from 50. Right, throwing then for Manchester City. Brentford just launched the ball up. I think it's Shade competing in the air, couldn't get control of it, and goes out of play for a throw into Manchester City, which Matheus Nunes is going to take. Pep Guardiola's instruction quite clear, just keep pushing forward. Andy Man, welcome, thank you for tuning in. Do hope you're well, my friend. Matheus Nunes then to Semenyo, scuffs his clearance, and thought Brentford had been all over that, but not the best of balls played forward, and Semenyo can win that one back. Pass comes into Guehi, under pressure, does very well there. Marc Guehi plays a good pass into Bernardo Silva. He plays a good first-time pass into Nathan Ake, and this is how you turn defence into attack. That's a good ball played forward. O'Reilly, can he keep it in? He can. Brentford ask him for the flag. Flag's not gone up, so not offside. And we're going to the next phase of the play. Here is Matheus Nunes. He's got no support here on the right-hand side, so he'll have to do it himself if he wants to. He doesn't. He wants to turn instead. Andy Man, fantastic to hear. Chicago Cubs got the best record in baseball at the minute. The season, has that just started? Philip, welcome. Hope you're well, my friend. Here's Jeremy Doku. Trying to double team him now. I was waiting for that to happen. I was like, sure, they're not going to just have him be dealt with by just Coyote. And he manages to do well there, to be fair, on Jeremy Doku. Doku again asks for the question of a free kick. Doesn't happen. And a goal kick given. Sorry, a corner given. Looked like it came off the shin of Doku. I'll take a corner, though. Here's Doku. What can he do with it? Oh, it drives forward. Brilliant from Doku. Haaland! Great save! Can City poke it home? No is the answer. Kelleher manages to get underneath it. Lovely work again from Jeremy Doku. Them combinations, Doku, Haaland. He does so well there, Jeremy Doku. Finds Haaland, first time shot, good save from the keeper. Should Nathan Ake tuck that home on the rebound? Falls to him very quickly. He just couldn't get it underneath the goalkeeper. And it's good work from the former Liverpool goalkeeper. Manchester City dominating the possession, dominating the attacking stats. Brentford have looked very lively, but Man City haven't found a way to score a goal. Well, Andy Man says, will Southampton be punished for spying? They've been charged with it, haven't they? They seem very guilty of that, and they've picked up as a 0-0 draw as well away against Middlesbrough. So, naughty. See what the punishment is for that. Here's Bernardo Silva. With the corner then for Manchester City, it was Semenyo that were driving forward and gets a deflection. Bernardo Silva here to take the corner. O'Reilly's in there, Haaland's in there, Guehi, Ake, all good targets. It's very deep, looking for the head of Nathan Ake. Brentford got it clear. Damsgaard runs into traffic though. Here's Rayan Cherki, works it to the right-hand side. Here's Bernardo Silva. He's going to get the run of Semenyo. He centralises himself for the shot. He's off balance and it's high and it's wide. There we go. Seamus reckons keep getting them balls in the box, keep crossing and the goals will happen. It was like that, that ball from Doku before that went straight onto Haaland's head. That's, for me, is the area you want to be in. So Bernardo Silva there centralises himself and he's leaning back and has the shot. I feel like the better option there is to play the pass into Semenyo for another ball to go into the box. So, Andy Man, yeah, Hull played Millwall yesterday. That finished 0-0 as well. That's brilliant work there from Collins, and Brentford have given the ball away after his good work defensively. Here's Doku, finds Cherki, nearly gets his pockets picked. He doesn't. Here's Semenyo, right-hand side, runs coming in from Reijnders. Semenyo does well to find Bernardo Silva. Cherki does well to find Reijnders. Onside, a chance here for a cross to come in. It does. Semenyo was ready with the header there. Good defending there from Collins again. And out for a throw into Manchester City. Sorry, it was Azure knocked Collins with the header. Throwing for Brentford. Poor back from City. As we're now 26 likes, guys, away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do go check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Links and details there in the description. Philip. No, it just every 100 it flicks over. It's done manually, otherwise I'd just be here all day. You'll keep fluctuating the changes and stuff. I just wait for it to hit the next 100 and then I tick it over. I think we're like 4 or 5 subscribers away from it ticking over. I'll have a check. Might have ticked over during the stream, I don't know. Let's have a look. Anyway, through 31 minutes, 0-0 here. We're 1 away, there you go. If you're watching this and you've not subscribed, you will be my 48,800th subscriber. 1 away. Here's Bernardo Silva. Works the pass into Cherki. He's got an option here. Reijnders, he's made a run in and too close to the keeper. And I think Lewis Potter's gone down holding his head, claiming a head injury. I think Kelleher might have just whacked him in the head as he came to collect the ball. I'm going to go back to, when I said before about Donnarumma, and a goalkeeper is allowed to do everything they can to come and claim the ball, clatter into players. It's exactly what Kelleher does there. It's a nasty one. It's his knee rather than his elbow, right into the head. That could have been, Reijnders on the receiving end, and I'll tell you right now, a penalty wouldn't be given because the goalkeeper's allowed to challenge and come out and collect the ball. And I don't think any of us would sit here and say, oh, it's a penalty. It's not a penalty. Goalkeepers are allowed to be grabbed and pushed and things. So goalkeepers are more than allowed to grab, push, and collect the ball. So, yeah. Geffen says, we're on 28 now. We're making some gains. If we get to 50 by half time or so, we're doing okay. 22 to go. Slow and steady wins the race. Right, whilst Lewis Potter receives some treatment, Pep Guardiola taking his opportunity to call his team over and do a little team talk. I think Keith Andrews doing the same. Instructions come in. Erling Haaland telling his team, come on, we're ready to get underway here. Pep Guardiola gets told off for giving his instructions there. Now, you see, for me, I always try and be as unbiased as possible. I don't think managers should be allowed to do that during a game. Leave it for pre-match, half-time and post-match. During the live game, I don't think the manager should be allowed to be able to give a team talk when a player is receiving treatment for an injury. I think that should be stopped. I don't think it has that much impact on games, but it could, and I don't think it should be allowed. Players can go over and and go and have a drink or what's not. They're allowed to do that. It's not allowed. The manager, when a player goes over to do that, has to go and sit down. They're not allowed to give the instruction, or an assistant, or any of the coaches. Remember the good old-fashioned days, you get a note in hand, pass it to a player when you get substituted on, got a message. Oh, man, it's been a close game, Jason, it has. Well, we've not found a goal. No one's found a goal yet. Here's Doku, might be about to change. Here's Cherki, edge of the penalty area. Good block comes in. Bernardo Silva finds Matheus Nunes to Semenyo. Cherki. No real option, so he just works it to the left-hand side. Here's Ake to Tijjani Reijnders. He's going to have a shot. Blocked. Bernardo. Probably sensible that it was blocked because I just don't see how that would have gone in. To Doku, up against Coyote again. Into the penalty area. Finds Cherki. Here's Ake to Doku. Overlaps coming in. It's going to be too much for Ake to keep in, I think. It goes out, and it's going to be a corner that's given. It is a corner that's given. It looked like that went out for me. If we get a replay. I think that's something that they're doing on at the World Cup. Having a look at corners, aren't they? That's gone out of play or not. Should that be a goal kick or a corner? Interesting to see how that impacts games. Bernardo Silva's going to be ran out of room here. Oh, a bit of argy-bargy going on now. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on now. Collins and Bernardo Silva exchanging some words. Both captains of both sides having some words. Referee wants to call them over and says, "No more, stop," is what he says. Bernardo Silva not happy about something. Yellow card shown to Bernardo Silva. I think is that for dissent? Let's have a look. What's gone on? Bit of pushing and shoving going on. Oh, I think it's just the afters. Collins shoves Bernardo to the ground, so Bernardo Silva lashes out a little bit, so he's given a yellow card for it. Let's have a look. Collins just shoves him to the ground, so he whacks the back of his leg. But Bernardo Silva just not happy it was pulled to the ground there. I think for his lashing out is what he's been given the yellow card for rather than dissent. I thought it was dissent, but no, it's the lashing out. It's a silly yellow card. You know, if that comes back to bite us and Bernardo gets sent off, you know, I'll be very frustrated. It's a silly yellow card. I think it's just more frustration on Bernardo Silva's behalf. There's Doku. Gives it to Guehi. You know, you've got to be calm and composed in these situations, not, be passionate and over-emotional. Got to use your head in title races. Be smart about things. And Doku pulled to the ground. And finally, Doku was fouled. And City get themselves a free kick in a pretty good area. Proper striker's challenge, that from Igor Thiago on Jeremy Doku. He steps on the back of his heel, and it's clumsy from the striker, and that's a free kick. A bit of a naughty one, that, actually, on Doku. Surprised the referee's not giving him a yellow card, to be honest, as we're now 19 likes away from 50. Right, this is a good position for a free kick. A real good position. What we're looking at, about 25 yards out. A 4-man wall with one player lying down in front to make it a 5-man wall. Cherki fancies this, I think. He stood over it. Semenyo stood over it. Some discussions going on there. So it's going to be Cherki or Semenyo. We'll see. Good position. Maybe closer to 30 yards rather than 25 this. Some way out to beat a keeper as good as Kelleher, but you just never know. Right. Let's see. I think it's going to be Cherki. It is. Goes through the wall and it hits Haaland. Blocked by our own player. Here's Doku. He's off balance and over the top of the crossbar, and that a corner for Manchester City, I think it is. Bernardo Silva goes over to take. Right, time running out here in the first half. It remains 0-0. Semenyo lets it go across his body. Works it to Rayan Cherki. Here's Matheus Nunes now. Gives the ball to Bernardo. Good work there from Bernardo. Chance for him to put something in the box. Gives it to Semenyo instead. Not really got any support over there on this right-hand side. And he does well to get a throw-in. He does well to get a throw-in, which Semenyo takes quickly. A good throw out to Bernardo, and Thiago's all over that one. Gets his foot in front. poorly given away from Brentford. Semenyo's not going to keep that one in. It's going to go out for that going to be a free kick. Or a goal kick. One of the two. Either way, it's going to be Brentford's ball. 5 minutes then left to play. Kelleher to take, as we're now 18 likes away from 50. He's going to send this one long and as far away from his goal as possible. Brentford will regard this as, pretty much job done for the first half, near enough. They'll look to try and see this out. O'Reilly finds Bernardo. Again, City coming with another wave of an attack. Doku. He's going to keep it in. He's going to square it across. Can't quite find a blue shirt there. Doku's done well getting into them good positions and just pulling it back. And for some reason, City seem to be gambling towards the back post all the time. Doku's interested in centralising it. Don't really know why Man City players haven't cottoned on that Doku's not going to send it to the back post. He's going to centralise it. So all you need to do as an attacker is hold your run. And you're probably going to receive the ball. But what do I know? Right, throw in for Brentford. Feel like there's going to be a big chance before half-time. Launched forward. So good ball played forward. Guehi should mop this up. He gets a push in the back on from Igor Thiago and he'll get a free kick, which he's not happy about. I'd be surprised if Igor Thiago, the referee didn't have a word with him there. Some words said. Here's Rayan Cherki's good challenge that comes in from Damsgaard. He's not going to be able to keep it in, but it's going to be a throw-in. The Bill, well, good. Thanks for tuning in. Have we clocked over? Nice. That's I do. Let's change it up. Yeah, that's a big positive here in the first half. We're now less than 200 subs away from 49,000. 1,200 away, less than now. From the big 50. Very exciting. Thank you very much. Very exciting. There you go. Consider it changed. Right. 17 likes. Can we get to 50 in the next 3 minutes or so? It can be done. If everybody watching, leave the thumbs up, I reckon we can get there. Here is Marc Guehi then for Manchester City. A bit passive here from Man City. I feel like everything's been hopeful rather than done in expectation. You've got to force the issue, and City haven't really forced the issue that much here against Brentford. And I'd like to see us force the issue a bit more. Thank you very much, Jessica. Here's Matheus Nunes. Good work from Matheus Nunes. He's got a pass here to Tijjani Reijnders. He bursts forward here. He's got options left, right, and for himself if he wants it. Has a shot himself. It is blocked. Gives it up. Semenyo has a shot. It's blocked as well. Keep pressing. Keep forcing. Try and force the mistake. Lewis Potter wants a grab on the back of the shirt and a free kick's going to be given. Yeah, that's silly from Semenyo. He's got to be smarter. Keep your hands to yourself. He's got nowhere to go there. Lewis Potter wants a touch and a free kick in that position, and Semenyo gives the linesman a perfect excuse to give that. Again, City haven't been very smart in this first half. Not been very smart. They've not used their head. The silly yellow card for Bernardo Silva. The silly free kick given away there. Jeremy Doku getting in these great positions. He wants to centralise it, yet our players keep making a run for the back post when you know what Doku wants to do with it. You've got to be smarter than this. I've got no football experience whatsoever. I'm just a fan who's watching it. And you might think, what on earth do I know about it? But, if I can notice these anomalies and things that are going on, then, surely these players can. They're getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. They know. The analysts at half-time will be all over it. Pep will be all over it. He'll be telling the players, use your heads. Got to be smarter about things. got to be smarter. Here's Tijjani Reijnders, finds Bernardo Silva. Going to float one across to Doku. At the minute, it's just, give the ball to Doku and hope Doku does something. Doku centralises it again. Again's just... man. Like statues, the City players in the penalty area. Like statues. Don't get the ball there, Matheus Nunes, so a free kick's going to be given. 2 minutes. I'm sure that's for the head injury before. That's why 2 minutes has been added on, because it's, as Dave says, it's not been a very good game of football. City just look a bit frustrated, and I don't really get why they look frustrated, because we haven't forced the issue. Everything we've done has been in hope. Now, he doesn't get the ball there, Matheus Nunes. It's a free kick. I don't get what they're moaning and complaining about. Brentford look more calm and composed than what Man City do right now. Right, Brentford will send this one as far away from the goal as possible. Kelleher's going to take. We've not had any action in added time. It's been a minute. Interesting to see if the referee adds it on or not. Guehi wins his header. Out for a throw into Manchester City. Got to get a move on if we want to score a goal here in this first half, because time is running out. Cherki launches one forward. Header will be won by Brentford. And they will just karate kick this one clear, which Nathan Ake will take under control. Bernardo will work it back to Donnarumma, and Man City might have time here just to work one more attack in this half. Donnarumma floats one up to... It's going to be Doku that takes it under control in the end. It'll be a throw-in for Manchester City. 20 seconds to go. Bernardo Silva to Rayan Cherki. Can we get a ball into the box in the final few seconds of this half and get a much-needed goal? Here's O'Reilly. City just stood still. No real movement. No real movement. Ake's crying for the ball. Get a ball in the box. Get a ball into that box. Here's Cherki. Dances forward through two bodies. Brentford will get it clear, and the referee won't add that minute on. Surprise, surprise. And that will be half-time then. 0-0. Arsenal, they're getting very excited in North London with what's going on at the minute. Man City moaning and complaining. Brentford game plan very clear here. They're happy with a 0-0 and coming to the Etihad and taking points off Manchester City. City have got to use their heads more in this second half. I wouldn't be surprised to see Man City dip towards the substitution bench sooner rather than later, because they're lacking fluency. Bernardo Silva's got to be very careful. He's having some words with the referee. He's already on a yellow card, so I think if you're looking towards a substitution at half-time, I think Bernardo Silva would probably be my substitution, because we can't afford here to go down to 10 men and make what's already a very difficult job into an even tougher job. So for me, either Phil Foden, Savinho, looking for a bit of midfield control, you could go with Kovacic, or if you want to go really attacking, go Omar, Marmoush. Bernardo Silva for me would be the change made at half-time. I've been looking for a bit more midfield balance as well, because it has looked a bit unbalanced. The midfield's not really been involved in the game, and we've not really found any way to get Rayan Cherki involved. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the likes of Marmoush, Savinho, Phil Foden on the pitch sooner rather than later. But Manchester City just... statistically, you look at the statistics, you'd say, actually, yeah, going all right, to be honest. What is it? 69% possession, 31% possession for Brentford. Brentford limited to just one shot, none on target. Nothing for Donnarumma to do in this game. For City's possession, 15 shots. A lot of them have been blocked, 4 of them on target, not being very clinical. We've got to do a lot more here going into the second half, because, we need goals. We need to win this game. For me, it's not a matter of looking at that goal difference. I don't think we need to be thinking about the goal difference until it gets to a point where Arsenal maybe drop some points. At the minute, it's just important to try and stay on the tails of Arsenal in the hope that maybe Arsenal drop some points somewhere. And if that can happen, then you can win the title. But to win Premier League titles, we've got 4 games remaining. We've got to make them 4 wins. And to win Premier League titles, you've got to turn these difficult, hard to navigate kind of games, the scruffy, scrappy games like against Brentford at home, where they're fighting for everything. They've got 10 men behind the ball. You've got to find a way to unlock them defences, score the goals, and win the game. Because if we can't, for me, Premier League title race, done and dusted today. It becomes a case where Arsenal need 5 points with the goal difference that they've got in their favour as well. It's going to be 5 points for them in 3 games. It puts Man City in a very difficult position to win the Premier League. We need to win this game. It's as clear and as simple as that, in my opinion. And I want to see a lot more from the Manchester City team. I want to see them be a little smarter about things, in my opinion. So, Sully, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Apocalypse says Nico Gonzalez reckons should be in midfield. And we're Seamus as well going with Kovacic. It's that case, isn't it? It's that balance in midfield. It's not quite there. It's lacking a bit of physical presence towards the back. And it's struggling a little bit in terms of its creativity in attack as well. Tijjani Reijnders not really played all that much. Hasn't really made much of an influence here in this first half. Bernardo's already on a yellow card. So I will be looking towards likes of Nico G, towards Kovacic, towards Phil Foden to be them players to come on and, make things happen. Because, at the end of the day, Phil Foden, when it comes to players that are on the bench, is one of the players that gets probably called upon one of the most. So he's sharper than some of the other players on the bench, which is why I think City's go-to would be to go towards Phil Foden in terms of their creativity. But we'll see what does happen. So, yeah. Destroy, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Says, Ryan has been poor. Can't shoot at all. Doku, the man. So, need the player in the 18-yard box. Says, sadly, it's Reijnders. Semenyo's first touch, horrible. Cherki again, poor to his usual standards. So it's hard to disagree. I spoke before, Rayan Cherki looked a little inconsistent, and that inconsistency's continued into this game. And I feel like Rayan Cherki's one of them players when things are going really well, and it can be super expressive, which is where Rayan Cherki's at his very best. Then you get the very best, not just from him, but for Manchester City as well. It's really in these nitty-gritty kind of games where I'd be looking for Rayan Cherki to try and unlock the tight-locked defences to make things happen. Them creative players who have got a good eye to, thread the ball through where maybe you think there isn't a pass on. You think to the likes of David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, as these players who can make these passes out of nothing, who, for me, we've kind of missed this season. And Rayan Cherki's that flair that Man City are looking for. So we could do with Rayan Cherki really finding a bit more of that flair, that form to try and turn things around. Because, Rayan Cherki, this form, it's only gone on for a game or two. We could just really do with him finding his feet sooner rather than later. And at the minute, Man City's hopes, and it was the same against Everton, it's just, let's give the ball to Doku and hope Doku can make something happen. But again, you've got to think, you've got to be smart. You've got to ask yourself, when Doku goes to the byline and he wants to play a ball into the box, where does Jeremy Doku want to put that ball? Doku's so quick, he doesn't have time to look up and figure out where players are. Jeremy Doku's unique selling point is his pace and skill that will get him into a really good position. So it's got to be a case that if Doku, he can't afford to look up because by the time he's done that, a defender's all over him. He's got to be playing them balls in first time without looking. So he's got to take the gamble of where do I play that ball? And it's a safer risk for him to centralise them balls in rather than playing them towards the back post. Yet City, time and time again, we're getting Man City's threat from the left that Sky Sports are looking at about Doku. He keeps wanting to pull that ball back in. Does Doku gamble and go towards the back post? Does he risk looking up to try and get, potentially get dispossessed and go to the back post? Or does he just continue just to centralise it? And if he's centralising it, Man City, their attackers have got to be all over it to know where Doku is going to be in them spots. And I'm happy that Apocalypse has mentioned Omar Marmoush, because that's where I've been looking for a second striker to be. Haaland gambles to the back post. He's big, physical, tall. If a cross comes in, he's winning them headers. If Doku wants to cut it back inside, your second striker's there, edge of the penalty area. Marmoush has got a lovely striker of the ball. He's one of the best strikers of the ball that we've got. He's more than capable of scoring fantastic goals 18 to 20 yards out with pullbacks coming in without needing to take a touch. And again, going back to the touch topic, too many touches for Man City. Too many, can I find the extra pass? Is somebody else in a better position? No one's in a better position. Right, I'm going to take a shot. How many times have we seen City trying to be decisive to take the shot? The shot's not there to be had. There are already so many bodies in front. You're going to struggle to have shots when you've given yourself no space at all. It's going to be one of these real horrible nitty-gritty games where there's so many bodies behind the ball. You've got to find that moment of magic to make something stick, to find the opening goal, to bring Brentford out to play. What we can't afford to do in this game, because we've got 45 minutes remaining, we can't afford now to concede. We concede, we drop points today, in my opinion. We can't afford that to happen. We've got to push, try and find goals ASAP. Back to what I said at the beginning of the stream, applies for Man City and for Arsenal in this title race. It gets to 65, 70 minutes, and the game isn't where you want it to be. If you're not ahead, oh boy, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're taking risks you wouldn't normally take, you're panicking. You're on the ropes, if you want a boxing term to put it in. That is a position where we don't want to be. So these first 15, 20 minutes of this second half, it's got to be fluent. It's got to be right for Manchester City, because if it's not, we're in a bit of bother for today. So we need to do more. And yeah, for me, all about what's up here. You've got to be smarter. City haven't been smart. Silly yellow cards given away. Silly in their decision making. They've got to be better. They've got to be much, much better than what they've been so far, in my opinion. Right, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts in the chat. What are you making of it? Do let me know. Halftime thoughts, any changes that you'd make, do let me know in the chat. That would be much appreciated. I like that Sky Sports headline is 2 Man City players avoid red cards as Brentford frustrate. Not aware of any potential red cards. Should Man City be down to 9 men? Matheus Nunes avoided a red card after bundling into the back of Kevin Shade. He slipped and Kevin Shade was feeling for contact and felt his arm. What did Matheus Nunes want to do? Put his arms behind his back to make contact? Just, no. And then Bernardo Silva avoided a sending off despite hitting out at the Bees defender, Nathan Collins. In fact, despite hitting out, he just pushed to the ground and he's put an arm into the back of his leg. Ridiculous talking points, which for me showcases the talking points really of this game, which has been, there's a lack of talking points, which is where things are going wrong. We've got to be smarter, we've got to be more decisive, we've got to be more creative, because at the minute, the only thing that Sky Sports have got in that headline that's right is Brentford frustrated Manchester City, and City look very frustrated as well. Right, some other scores from around the grounds. 1-1 between Liverpool and Chelsea earlier on today. Brighton 3, Wolves 0, full-time score. Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1, continuing their fantastic form. Sunderland 0, Manchester United 0. A good scout for Sunderland means United Strand not getting his haircut this season. And obviously, half-time here, Man City 0, Brentford 0. Women's Super League, Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 3, full-time. Playoff season, Championship, Middlesbrough 0, Southampton 0 in the first leg. Playoff in League 1, Stevenage 0, Stockport 1. Full-time score, you've got Bolton taking on Bradford at 8 p.m. today. You've also got an array of fixtures taking place across Scotland, north of the border as well. Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 2, Dundee United 0, Dundee 3, Livingston 0, Falkirk 1, Hibernian 3, and St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 3, all full-time scores, and a big game towards the top. Motherwell taking on Hearts at 8 p.m. BST. Scottish Championship playoffs, Edronians 1, Alloa 2, and extra time at the minute, Stenhousemuir 2, Queen of the South 2. Scottish League 1 playoffs, Hamilton 2, 4 1, and Spartans 1, Clyde 1, and Scottish League 2, Bora 1, Edinburgh City 1. Not sure if that's gone to extra time or what's not. I'm not sure what the rulings are in Scotland, so here we are. Right, guys, don't forget, though, leave a thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. Aiming for 100 likes, 7 short of 50. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well. If you are new around here, do go check out my social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description, too, if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And do go check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Links and details, they are in the description. Right, got some halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy whilst I just go and get another drink ready for the second half. It's brought to you by my partner channel, Mixed. Go and check him out. Links and details there in the description. This is the San Francisco cocktail. Enjoy.
What's going on, guys? Mixed here, back again for another cocktail video. And today's cocktail, guys, is the San Francisco cocktail, and I will show you guys how to make it. Because we are on 999 subs, we're only one away from our big goal of 1k. So thank you for all your support, as we're only one away. We might have already reached it by the time this video goes out. But for now, it is the San Francisco cocktail. So let's get straight into it. So to make the San Francisco cocktail, guys, get your mixing glass and put in it 2 big ice cubes. So the first ingredient to go in, guys, is 45ml or 1.5 ounce of sloe gin. Next, 7.5ml or 1/4 ounce of dry vermouth. Next, 7.5ml or 1/4 ounce of sweet vermouth. Now add 1 dash of Angostura bitters and 1 dash of orange bitters. And what you want to do now is give it a light stir, so we'll give it a good stir. Get your martini glass, get your strainer, and now strain into your martini glass. So the final thing to do now is to garnish it with a cocktail cherry. And there we have it, 1 San Francisco cocktail. There we have it, 1 San Francisco cocktail. How does it taste? Tastes very much like an aperitif. It's a very bitter cocktail, that. Because you can taste the martini out. Because that's just what I thought it would be. It's one of those drinks you'd have. Like the Italians do with their aperitifs, they have it with their meals like that, like a snack. Because it has the bitter notes. It's quite bitter. But it's certainly nice, because if you like your bitter cocktails, I wouldn't recommend it. The sloe gin mixed in with the sweet vermouth and the dry vermouth with the bitters. Because it has that bittery taste, but it's quite nice as well. But it's a bittery cocktail, because it's not to everyone's taste. That's what I will say. But I don't mind it, because if you like your Negroni Camparis, you'll like this cocktail. And that, guys, is the San Francisco cocktail. Because say we're only one away from 1K. We might already be on it, I don't know, as this is filmed the day before. But if we have hit 1K, then fantastic. We've achieved our goal before the year is out. But I'd like to thank you all for your support, for subscribing to Mixed. It's been an absolute pleasure to finally be in reaching distance or finally hit our target of 1,000 subs. And here is to many more cocktail videos on this channel. But to celebrate hitting 1K, I will be doing 2 special videos in the upcoming weeks. And from next week, I will be kicking off my Halloween cocktails for October, like I do every year, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if there is any Halloween cocktails you want to see on this channel, do let me know in the comments below, as I will be happy to make them, as I've already got a few ideas what I want to do. But that, guys, has been the San Francisco cocktail. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mix It for more cocktail videos like this. And I will see you guys for the next cocktail video. Cheers.
And a big thank you there to Mixed for providing today's half-time entertainment. Right, we've had kick-off here for the second half. City have had a couple of opportunities to try and create and make something happen. Cherki had a shot which was dragged wide, and Cherki just tried to play a pass in there looking for Antoine Semenyo, but Semenyo runs out of room and out for a goal kick. Not sure any changes have been made at half-time by either side, as Brentford get themselves a throw-in. The question is, can Manchester City find a goal, find something, because they need something. I'm running out. I'm the best, thank you for tuning in. Rick as well, thank you for tuning in. Kevin, I think Arsenal beat West Ham tomorrow is what I think will happen. And I think West Ham will be the one that go. As O'Reilly gives the free kick away there. For Brentford to try and put a ball into the box. Brentford look all too comfortable for my liking. All too comfortable. I want to see a bit more from Manchester City. As we're now 5 likes from 50. Ball's going to go into the box. Or at least I think it will. It does eventually go in, and there's slightly too much on that, and City will just gather that one up. Donnarumma will look to get City going again. Haaland manages to get his foot onto it. Cherki will get his foot onto it. Needs to try and find a bit of space here. Cherki does, and Semenyo making a run. Linesman's keeping his flag down for now. Here's Semenyo then, into the penalty area. Finds Cherki. He's running out of room here, Cherki, and he goes down. Not a penalty, and Brentford will manage to bring the ball away here. Here's Kelleher. Long ball played forward. Brentford have got 4 forward here. Here's Damsgaard. Overlaps coming in. Igor Thiago got hold of the ball. Guehi does a good job in just forcing him out. He has to play his pass as well. City have got bodies back now. Lack of defensive midfield presence right there for Man City when the ball comes into the box. No one there ready that if City win the initial header, that the ball's just going to go straight back to Brentford again. Like to Cherki, Haaland, Semenyo, not really dropping deeper into them spaces, and we could really do with them doing so when Brentford are looking to try and get the ball forward, and Igor Thiago pushes Bernardo Silva in the back, and that will be a free kick, much to the annoyance of the Brentford players and fans. Thank you very much, Keith, for your kind comment, much appreciated. Do hope you're well as well, my friend. ticks here for Manchester City. How long do you give this before you make changes? Because I don't think if I'm Pep Guardiola, I don't think I give this another 5 minutes. I'd be preparing a couple of changes imminently. You know, if it's not worked for the first 55 minutes, I can guarantee you it's not gonna work for the remainder of the game, and we could really do with shaking it up. Ake, long ball forward, too much on it. Goal kick Brentford. Naughty little push in the back there from Nico O'Reilly. Referee just says stop it. On Coyote. City again just continue to look a bit frustrated. Kevin, Vinicius Junior won't be joining Man City. I'm very confident on that. Andy Mania has gone a bit flat. Guehi, can he get there? He can. Here's Semenyo. To Guehi. O'Reilly's got a little bit of space. Bernardo Silva's dropped into a deeper position. Gives the ball to Nathan Ake. There's Bernardo now. Gives the ball to Matheus Nunes. He's got players right and left. Goes to the right to Semenyo. What could Semenyo do? Might have fancy a shot. He doesn't. There's too much on it and over the top of the crossbar. Not really working this for Man City. I always ask, what is that? What is that? Hickey. Can he find Coyote? He can. Here's Coyote then coming forward. Plays his pass in, looking for Igor Thiago. Oh, he might have taken that first time. He doesn't. It's a good save from Donnarumma and mopped up well from Marc Guehi. I feel it's a save I'd expect Donnarumma to make, and obviously you got to ask the question. I feel like his best opportunity there was either to go first time across looking for shade. If he gets it right, has a tap in. He does look across the line, but because he hesitates, it's predictable where he's going, and Donnarumma manages to make the save, pushes it back into the danger zone. Mind, thankfully, Marc Guehi's there to just mop up, and again, just showing the attacking presence of Brentford. They feel like there's something in this game for them. Haaland's back there. Tijjani Reijnders is back there. Ake's in there. Ball's going to come in here from Jensen. A deep ball, headed clear, and Rayan Cherki will also mop that one up. Doku looking to try and get on the end of it. Coyote's just going to hook this one back in. Bernardo Silva with a fantastic touch there. Under pressure. He does very well there, Bernardo, but Jensen's managed to pick his pocket, and the ball goes out towards Igor Thiago, who will keep it in. Edge of the penalty area, a shooting opportunity here for Brentford. Loops up and over the top of the crossbar, and out for a goal kick to Manchester City. Brentford just growing in a bit of confidence now. Mixed, thank you for tuning in. Making a salted caramel caviar for the next cocktail. I like it. So that's another silly free kick given away by Manchester City there. Matheus Nunes lets the referee know what he thinks of that. Not happy. Again, we're just not being very smart. Pep's not been very smart, because why we're not making changes? Changes need to be made. City look like they're out of ideas. Brentford look more likely to score than City, as Phil Foden and Omar Marmoush are going to be coming on. Double change. Personally, City have got to deal with this. Cross comes in. Header won by Guehi. Shot comes in from Brentford. Pinging around. Nunes gets it clear. Brentford, getting up ahead of confidence. They're getting players forward. Ball comes forward. Damsgaard runs out of room. Cross comes in. I'm not sure if he's offside or if a goal kick's been given. I think offside has been given. City want to get on with it. Now confirmed as offside. Here's Jeremy Doku coming forward. Skips forward. There's a push in the back. See, I think Doku's got to be smarter there. He wants to stay on his feet. There's a push in the back. I'd have just gone down because it'd have been a free kick. Here's Cherki dancing around in the penalty area. Tries to float across. There's so many bodies back there. So many bodies. Here's Doku. What can he do? He can find his pass to O'Reilly somehow. And O'Reilly just runs out of room. There's 4 Brentford players ready there to defend. And Ake can't get his clearance in. And that's just going to fall back to Donnarumma. Thankfully. Here's Tijjani Reijnders. O'Reilly's asking for the pass to come in. It doesn't come in. Here's Doku instead. All right, Doku runs out of room. Gets a corner for Manchester City. I think it's a corner. Bernardo Silva goes over to take. I think City want to make some changes. Right. And City are going to make these changes. Right, Tijjani Reijnders is going to be the first to come off. Omar Marmoush is going to come on, and Phil Foden's going to come on for Rayan Cherki. So, attacking intent made. Should not been Cherki's game, so I get why that sub's been made. Foden on, Reijnders comes off, and they're going with the extra attacker and Marmoush coming on. Marmoush got half an hour here. Could do with a Marmoush goal. Here is Jezza Doku. As we're now 48 likes, guys, away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Here's Doku into a good bit of space with a shot. How does he keep doing this? How does Jeremy Doku keep doing this? It's a wonderful strike and a wonderful goal for the Belgium international. Jeremy Doku with a lovely finish into the back of the net. And Manchester City needed a goal. And it's the go-to man right now, Jeremy Doku, providing for Manchester City. And it is City that lead here at the Etihad Stadium by a 1-0 on the hour mark. And it's Jeremy Doku with another fantastic finish. Whoo! Needed that. Lo and behold. What City don't want to do now is just take the foot off the gas. You know, the attacking substitutions have been made. Keep pushing and keep going. That's what they want to do here. Keep pushing and keep going. It's a great hit from Doku. Hickey, well aware of what the danger was there. Trying to get back to try and head that one clear, but he can't. And it's a brilliant finish from Doku. Doku helping keep Man City's Premier League season alive. Very important we wrap up these 3 points, so we've got to keep building on this. Brentford now will have to open up. They've already opened up. They've started to create an attack and make things happen. Janelt comes on for Brentford, make their first change of the game. They're going to have to change it up. Going to take a long throw from Coyote into the penalty area, I think, here. Janelt comes on for Hickey. Ball's going to get launched. Header won by Guehi. Ball's pinging up around. It's sent in. Ake wins the header. It's flicking up and Donnarumma comes out. And that's better from Gianluigi Donnarumma. Much better. Comes out and collects the ball. He's strong there. He goes into the back of shade. Referee's going to stop it, much to the City frustration. But, Donnarumma is allowed to come out and collect the ball and do that. Shade feels the pain there. Right on the lower back there for Shade. And it's hurt him. And Shade will go off and get some treatment and we'll get back underway. Gives us time to get another replay of that great Doku hit. Bit of space. It's a brilliant finish. Left-hand side on his right foot. It's a brilliant, brilliant finish from Jeremy Doku. Brilliant finish. Some player. He's some player. Chad's enjoying himself. Good to see. From Doku last 6 appearances. 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 goal involvements. Here's Semenyo. Squares one across and Kelleher reads it well. And he'll gather here for Brentford. I think it's just important City try and build on this. If we can go out and find a second pretty quickly, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, touch wood, that will wrap up 3 points. Nunes wins his header. Hoofed clear by Brentford. Ake. He's just going to allow this one to roll back to Donnarumma. I know, Tito. I know, yeah. Andy, man, do I think Semenyo's in the right spot? I think Semenyo likes to roam in attack. Likes to do what he pleases. I always feel like Semenyo's he reminds me a little bit of Erling Haaland. He's not a dribbler. He's not a fancy-footed player. He's a direct player who wants to run onto the ball. He wants to be in the right place at the right time. And on the right wing, it's not really the right place at the right time. You've got to be, for me, a bit more direct, which is probably why Man City are looking at wingers this summer as Doku looks to try and thread one through. Brentford managed to get enough bodies back and should be able to get this one clear. Should be mopped up by Nico O'Reilly and Iz. Here's Bernardo Silva. City not stopping here. They're determined here to try and kill this one off. They're pushing to try and get a second. O'Reilly to Bernardo. While the tails are up, they're pushing for a second, which is good to see. I think these next 3-4 minutes very important for how this game might go. Very important. Here's Semenyo. Finds Foden. Heavier touch there from Foden. Didn't need to be as heavy as that. Brentford now bursting forward. They want a throw in here, and they get one. In a rush now, Brentford. As I said, now they're behind. It opens things up a bit more for Man City. Leads to the potential of Brentford making mistakes as well, which is why I said it's important here that Man City try and find a second. A second means that the Brentford heads might drop. Here's Damsgaard. Work to the right. Coyote finds his pass down the flank. Only finds Nathan Ake. Goes back to Donnarumma and Marc Guehi will lead another attack here for Manchester City. He looked good here on the right-hand side, Guehi today. Normally plays on the left. Look at that. Points from winning positions in 2026. Man City leading the way with Spurs and Newcastle. It's not where you want to be, is it really? Put ourselves in such good positions. We've got to build on it, which is why it's important that we get a second, I think. Chad's enjoyed himself, said it's been an entertaining game. I feel like we all feel a bit better now we've got the goal. I feel much better if we can get the assurance of a killer second goal. It might not be too far away, because here's Doku. Acres of space here for Nico O'Reilly. Nearly given away by Man City, but Doku mops up. Tightest of spaces here. It could fall lucky. It could fall lucky for Foden! Oh, Phil should score. It's a good save from Kelleher, but it's straight at the keeper. It's straight at the keeper. Phil should score. Trying to poke it, I think, under the legs of Kelleher, but he doesn't manage it. City here, I said, looking fresh and full of energy, pushing for that second goal. The Erling Haaland's telling him to slow it down. I don't think they should be slowing it down. I keep going at Brentford while the tails are up. While Man City are feeling a second goal's potentially coming, you've got to keep that momentum going. Don't want to, just take the foot off the gas. We've got Brentford where we want them. Need to go out for the kill now. Andy, man, it's not official yet. But he has apparently signed a new contract. Doku finds Bernardo. Here's Marmoush, edge of the penalty area. Dispossessed. Damsgaard coming forward. He's had a good game, Damsgaard. A very good game. Nunes will mop that one up. He'll get a free kick. I reckon Shade might be coming off soon. He's looking very frustrated for Brentford. So, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. 48 likes away from 100. Do subscribe. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Links and details are in the description. A big opportunity, that one, for Phil. All right, Brentford have made their second change. Damsgaard. Surprised Damsgaard's gone off. I thought he's had a good game. Lautaro comes on. An attacking change made. More of a traditional 3 up top now for Brentford. Here's Erling Haaland. Lovely show of strength and pretty good defending, to be fair. Haaland wants a free kick. Very physical tussle there between him and... Is that Azure or Collins? I'm not too sure. They've got two big centre-backs. Doku's deemed to have fouled Coyote there, and referee gives a free kick. I'm sorry, it was a Tora. Pep Guardiola looking more and more frustrated on the touchline. Andy, man, the way things are going for Phil, unless he can find some form between now and the end of the season, I don't think he's going to the World Cup. I don't think he's done enough. Haaland can't get that one under control after a ball launched forward by City, and Brentford will get control of it with 21 minutes remaining. We have Cole Palmer's having a very poor season as well. They're the kind of players that Thomas Tuchel will want to take to the World Cup. These are experienced players, proven high-quality players, normally do a pretty good job for England. Just not done enough domestically, really, to warrant going to the World Cup. Phil Foden's not a regular starter for Man City, so there'll be other players who are competing for his position who are in form and who are starting game after game. You've got to weigh up, someone like Jared Bowen, for example, is in brilliant form for West Ham. West Ham aren't having a very good season, but he's been one of their bright sparks, one of their best players, competing in near of the same position as what Phil Foden's going to be competing for, trying to play either as an attacking midfielder or a potential winger. So do you go for a player who's got loads of experience, who's won a Champions League, who's out of form, but definitely got lots of quality there if you can get the best out of him and take that risk? Or do you just go and reward the fine form of another player? And that's the old thing that England always seem to always get wrong. They always seem to prioritise the wrong selections about who should be going, and it always seems to be based on name rather than form. Phil Foden's not got much confidence, and I feel like him not going to the World Cup, a big chance here for Brentford. Big chance here for Brentford. Bit of scrambling going on. They want a penalty. They're crying for a penalty. Shade's gone down. Penalty not given. Brentford will go back to the referee again, who said no penalty. Let's have a look at this one. Igor Thiago is potentially offside in the build-up to it, so there's a bit of tussling going on between Shade and Matheus Nunes. So it'll be interesting to see if they have a look at the offside in the build-up. Will tell you that they think that it's a foul that's being made. Let's have a look. Referees, confirmed. No penalty, and there we go. On we go. Interesting to have I'd like to have another look at this one. 1 second. Now, I can see why the referee's not giving a penalty, because he tugs on Matheus Nunes' shorts, and Matheus Nunes then gives him a tug, and then he decides to go down. Now, it's twice that Kevin Shade's done that. Twice. Look to initiate the contact, looking for the contact, looking to go down. Not a fan of it. It's like before when Matheus Nunes fell over. I didn't think it was enough for Shade to go down. He felt the contact and gone down because he thought, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to get a penalty. Or I'm going to get a free kick, a player's going to get sent off. Not realising that actually Matheus Nunes has slipped and he's got nothing else he can do with his hands. When in actual fact, he should have just stayed on his feet. As Doku just gone close there for Man City, just dragged wide. 18 minutes remaining. Andy Man, I reckon Nico O'Reilly will be off to the World Cup. But he's been in form. He's a regular starter. He should be going. Corner here then for Manchester City. Phil Foden to take. Man City taking the time a little bit now. Yeah, this goes on for another 10 minutes or so. We'll get into what I call squeaky bum time. Corner comes in. Headed clear. Kelleher comes and punches it. Again, good goalkeeping. It's there for the goalkeeper to get clear and get rid, and he does. Here's Semenyo looking for a little bit of space. He's surrounded out, so he'll just go backwards. Here's Matheus Nunes now. Gives the ball to O'Reilly. Here's Doku. He wants to hold this tight. Phil Foden's got a bit of space. He makes the run. Doku could still use Foden because he's still in an onside position. Here's Marmoush. Gives the ball to O'Reilly. I feel like Man City's insistence to backs to goal and play the ball backwards there. Marmoush could take a touch and didn't need to go backwards there, but they did. They didn't really need to. O'Reilly looking to try and thread Phil Foden in. There's going to be a yellow card every day of the week there from that Nico O'Reilly. Apologises. So yeah, tactical foul that one from O'Reilly and takes the yellow card on Utara. Spursy, thanks for tuning in. Hoping Arsenal will lose tomorrow. Needing it for Spurs as well, really. Sorry. Okay, fair enough. And I thought, to be fair, you want the best of both worlds. Maybe Arsenal drop points, draw. Rather than, to be fair, you just don't want Arsenal to win the league. That's an interesting one. Would you be happy to be relegated if it means stopping Arsenal win the league? That's an interesting scenario. Or would you rather stay up but Arsenal win the league? Bernardo floats one out to Antoine Semenyo. Pushes close here. No one's there. Haaland's there. Haaland! Oh, it's as scrappy as they come. Well, it's the killer second goal. Who cares how you end up scoring a goal? Who cares? Erling Haaland doubled Manchester City's lead. You can see from the smile on the face of the players there. This has been hard work. Real hard work for Manchester City. And they're really happy to just have that sigh of relief about just how good of a game Brentford have pushed Manchester City today. Does his famous celebration, and it's a needed second goal for Manchester City. And as I said, who cares how the goals come? It's just as long as you score, that's all that matters. And that's exactly what Manchester City have managed to do, as scrappy as they come. To me, there's the advantage of having the second striker. Ball comes in from Semenyo. Marmoush is there challenging at the near post. That frees up space for Erling Haaland to be in the centre of the goal. Brentford can't clear the lines, and Erling Haaland can score his goal that he's looking for. Just kind of drags one over the back of his heel into the back of his own shin and into the back of the net. And 2-0, Manchester City lead. Now, the question is, because I think I would, if I was Pep here, I would make the final 3 remaining substitutions to save some legs for players for the big games to come, Crystal Palace and the game against Chelsea in the cup final. Pep's telling his players just to get back. I make them changes ASAP, rest some legs. Spursy says he wants to start thinking about getting the goal difference up, which was my next point, which is I get the fresh legs on. We've been pushed hard here by Brentford. I get the fresh legs on, and I'm telling all 3 of them substitutions, because there'll be 3 attacking changes for me. Keep pushing, score another couple. Because if City can score a couple more goals here, that goal difference is caught up. And then all of a sudden, Arsenal's in a position where they just can. There's no margin for error. It's must win for them. That's a position you want to be in. So if I'm Man City, you got 3 substitutions remaining. I'm making three attacking changes here. Fresh legs on and telling them go score more goals. That's what I would be doing. What would my substitutions be? Let's have a look. Savinho's on the bench. What have we got? Attacking fullback, someone like Ait-Nouri could be quite useful. Kovacic got an assist in the last game. You know, he's threading the balls through. Could be useful in midfield as well. Here's O'Reilly trying to put a challenge in. Utara runs out the room. Does well there on Doku though, but O'Reilly is there to help mop up. He can't get it fully clear. Only as far as Jensen. Wanted to put a ball in the box, but he's found a pass. Cross comes in. Nunes gets a touch. Ball's back to Jensen. Coyote now. Chance for him to put a ball into the box. He's asking the questions of, how do I put a ball in the box? Where is everyone? Floated ball across from Brentford. Too much on it and out of play for a throw-in. Now, Brentford are going to overcommit. They're going to be looking to try and get back in this. So there will be space for Man City. Jordan Henderson's going to be coming on for Brentford. I think there's talk of Jordan Henderson going to the World Cup, isn't there? Again. It's not a big name, a player that gets everyone excited, gets the job done. Kevin says, just got back from his shower, 2-0 up, the curse turned into luck. Which is great to see. So Jordan Henderson, he comes on for Brentford. I missed who he's come on for. I'm not sure. I'm sure the chat will let me know who he came on for. There's a chance here for Marmoush. Oh, good work from Marmoush, and he gets a free kick for Man City as well. Just eats away a bit more off the clock. A yellow card as well. A foul on Marmoush. John says the Italian Football Federation want Pep. Pep has spoken about wanting to go into international football management. So I won't be surprised for that to be his next move. I can see Pep having a bit of a sabbatical. It's Christopher Azure that goes into the book, the Norwegian international. So free kick here then for Manchester City. Remember, we are playing again on Wednesday evening. Game in hand against Crystal Palace, another must-win game for Man City, and we'll have a good look at the West Ham game tomorrow, and hopefully, fingers crossed, get a favour from our friends at West Ham. Come on, you Irons! Right, free kick for Manchester City. Foden. It's very deep and collected by Kelleher. Comfortable. It's important here that Man City don't do anything stupid. Like give Brentford a goal. Abdukodir Khusanov's got a knock, so he's out of today's game. Hopefully he'll be back for the next game. John, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Interesting point that Spursy made before. Said he'd rather get relegated to stop Arsenal winning the league, which I think's that's quite funny. The Super League. That's a big video topic, that one, the Super League that they've been planned. They've pushed hard for it in La Liga. It's all to do with the money and the finances, and I can argue with what they turned the Champions League into. It's kind of turned into the Super League in essence, really. 6 Premier League teams in the Champions League. Like, what? Potentially 6 teams from England again in the Champions League. Opening up the available space to make sure that all the biggest and best clubs are in there to get as much viewership and as much money, which is exactly what the Super League was. So, yeah. Here's Marmoush to Foden in the penalty area. Wants a bit of support on this left-hand side. O'Reilly and Doku very static It's because Doku's just preserving a bit of energy to do that bursting run and floats the ball to Foden. It's a great save. How on earth has Kelleher saved that? Foden does nothing wrong. He just puts his foot onto it. It's going in the back of the net. It's going to be 3-0 Manchester City. And Kelleher pulls off. Let me look at this. I think that's one of the saves of the season. That is nothing short of outstanding. Brilliant from Kelleher. Foden with the corner. Deep. Header won by Ake. Will be cleared up though by Brentford. Hooked back in by Nunes. Sends it very high. Hits the back of Marmoush. Sent clear by Brentford. Header won well by Matheus Nunes. O'Reilly will mop that one up. Is Nathan Ake. Finds his pass to Doku. He goes down and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. That's a fair point, Spurs. He says, think about it though. No one cares about who lost, even going down. We can bounce back. An Arsenal title would stay in history. A relegation, it makes most sense. Joe, I've seen some Spurs fans who said that they could do with just weeding out anyone and everyone who doesn't really want to be involved in the club anymore, and rather than keeping on the Klinger honours, have a season in the Championship. Obviously, the money and the players and what Tottenham have got available to them, you'd expect them to bounce back and come up as champions relatively comfortably. But it'd also get, weed out a fair few problems that Spurs have got. And, there's Aston Villa, Newcastle, they've all done seasons in the Championship and it's not done them any harm. As Marmoush into a good position, it's a great block and that'll be a corner for Manchester City. Now, Manchester City are keeping this one going. They're looking here to try and kill this one off and grab a third. Potentially looking at that goal difference, but yeah. It's terrible for Spurs' finances. They definitely don't want to get relegated. But, are Spurs going to be too disappointed if they see West Ham win tomorrow? I mean, Spurs have still got it all in their own hands. So, it's a sacrifice for the greater good. We still got our job to do. We've got to win our games. Winning this one. Corner comes in. Ah, sure. That's a great bit of defending. How good's Brentford's defending been today? As Andy Man says there, great defending. Been fantastic defending. Here's Doku to the byline, squared across, wants to centralise it. What did I say before? What did I say? His City then coming forward. So Spursy says, I think going down long term will be better for us too. I'm one of the very few who wants us to go down. Stay up every season is making up the numbers. Go down and big changes will be made. It weeds everything out. It weeds everything out. It does. Jean says a bigger stadium is a waste. To be fair, they make a lot of money on it. The concerts they've got there, the NFL that they've got there. Spurs will still sell out, I imagine, probably every single Championship game. There's going to be a lot of demand for season tickets. I imagine there's lots of fans who have been waiting years and years to get hold of season tickets. So if people are disinterested, there'll be people that are willing to take it on. Cheaper tickets. You end up, you win 1 in every 3 in the Premier League, or you win, 3 in every 4 in the Championship. You get a feel-good factor and everything coming back, and you come back and you come back with a lot of confidence. And as you said, it's weeded everything out that's been rotten at the club. So I think you end up getting bigger problems if you don't come back up. I'd be amazed, though, if Spurs didn't come back up, though. Amazed. NFL games, they are big money makers. Tickets are very expensive. They sell out. World's eyes are there. Lots of sponsors, lots of opportunities. The concerts, they have big names on at Spurs Stadium. Big names. There's more pushing and shoving going on. City just be smart. They don't need to be involved in this. It's 2-0 at the minute. Again, that's what happened. Boxing events. It's a multi-purpose stadium. Oh, Jordan Henderson's got a massive head loss here. I like Spursy. He's made it. He's made it all sound here very promising about being relegated. But what you're saying there, I think's right. I think it's right. As I said, I look at the likes of Aston Villa. I look at Newcastle, big clubs, real big clubs, done stints in the Championship. You know, hardcore Spurs fans get to visit some stadiums that they don't normally get to visit as well. It's a very difficult league, the Championship, though. Matheus Nunes and Jordan Henderson going to the book. Very difficult league. You know, lots of former Premier League teams in there. Lots of money knocking around in the Championship. It isn't easy, and Spurs would be everybody's cup final, of course. But I think the quality that Spurs have got, get off to a good start. I think it'd just be one-way traffic, to be honest. Long ball comes forward. He's matured a lot, Matheus Nunes. He has. Now, Coventry have had a very good season. So, they deserve to be promoted and come up. Time running out here for Brentford. This is really where you could have done with Man City scoring a couple of early goals, so you could start thinking about goal difference all game rather than having 20 minutes to do so. Oh, it's a good interception, that. Here's Bernardo Silva. Just a minute remaining. Oh, Jordan Henderson. Is that Jordan Henderson again? No. Bargy going round. Oh, some pushing and shoving going on again. What is going on? And Phil Foden's holding his neck. What's gone on here? What has gone on here? Phil Foden's in a lot of pain. I think Brentford have tried the Everton approach of being really physical. Let's have a look. We'll get a highlight of it here. It's Jan out. He leans in with an elbow on Foden's neck. His elbow's up is what's happened there. And got into his neck. Saw one for Foden. Doku's going to come off. Outstanding from Jeremy Doku. Absolutely outstanding. Right, we're into added time. What do we reckon here? 4 minutes? Maybe? Don't think there'll be that much added on. I think City here are just about trying to preserve a bit of energy. The hope is just as Savinho comes on for Doku. I think they want to just keep an eye on what happens in tomorrow's game and go from there. I think is the plan here. Don't want to concede. I want to keep a clean sheet. Gives us good confidence going into the Crystal Palace game, and I think that's important in this title race. Focus on what we're doing. Obviously, we'll watch the Arsenal game and we'll see what happens as Igor Thiago runs out of the room. That'll be a goal kick. Bernardo Silva wants to get on with this. Here's Matheus Nunes. Gives it to Semenyo. Yeah, City are thinking about scoring a third. So City are in a rush. They're thinking about the goal difference at the minute. That's what they're thinking about. One ball comes over. Should be dealt with this by City, and is. Good work from Phil Foden. Again, I think Phil Foden's done a good little cameo for City. Here's Savinho. What can he do? Marmoush is pointing where he wants it. Still made a good run here, though. Here's Haaland. Any support? Oh, Marmoush! Oh, Omar Marmoush! back in amongst the goals, and it's 3-0 Manchester City. And now they've definitely been targeting that third and looking towards goal difference. We've still got 3 minutes. Get back. It's time for another attack or two, see if we can score another goal. It's a good finish from Marmoush. Pep shows his appreciation, and Savinho there helping to provide for Manchester City. Is that an assist for Erling Haaland as well? It's what we like to see. It's what we like to see. Good finish from Omar Marmoush. Good finish. 3-0 Manchester City. We really could have scored 4 or 5 today, and just in this second half. Remember that tremendous save from Kelleher on Foden. Foden missed a really good opportunity before as well. Foden could have had a brace. We could have scored 5. Right, into the final 2 minutes then. Still time for maybe one more attack. I imagine Brentford will want to shut up shop. They're still pushing to try and score a goal. They're still very annoyed, Brentford. Still very annoyed. Now, how excited would we have been had we beaten Everton? If we beaten Everton now, we would have gone top of the league ahead of that difficult game for Arsenal against West Ham. Semenyo, can he get there? He can. Brentford will intercept. KO defines Utara. Up against O'Reilly. Turns O'Reilly. Ball comes across. Header won by Thiago. Saved by Donnarumma, and over the top of the crossbar. Keeps his clean sheet intact. Good work that from Gianluigi Donnarumma. Gets a big hand onto it. Tips it onto the crossbar. Nearly gets it wrong. Corner then. Marmoush into the book for, delaying the game? Marmoush can't believe it. I wonder if the referee will add any time on for these corners and stoppages. We'll see. Corner then for Brentford. Can they do anything? Corner comes in. Headed down. City will get it clear. Now they race to look to try and get on the end of it. Kelleher gets a good touch. City have got 2 on this. Launched forward. Header should be won by City. City just let it run out. There you go. Throw in then, just 10 seconds. I'm intrigued to see if the referee adds maybe another minute on here. Or not. That looked like a handball from Foden. Referee's not giving it. Right, might have time for one last attack. We do. One last attack. Here's Semenyo. Semenyo. Oh, he's going to run out of room. Squares it across, and Kelleher gets a big foot onto it. It touches Bernardo Silva's elbow and runs out of room for a goal kick, and that will be that. I imagine. Referee will say, I've added an extra few seconds on. He's given Man City the opportunity. Man City just couldn't convert there at the end, but still, 3-0, 3 points. Job done. Come on, you Irons. See if we can get a favour from West Ham. Ball gets launched forward. Referee, he's adding that minute on. What, 10 seconds, I reckon, or so left in this game. Kelleher just chips one down the flank, and referee says, that's that. 3-0, Manchester City. Right, we're 1 goal difference behind Arsenal. Arsenal have got a big game against West Ham. Goal difference is important. If Arsenal end up drawing against West Ham tomorrow, it means that they go 3 points clear of Man City with 1 goal difference. It means a win for Man City against Crystal Palace, and Arsenal draw tomorrow. We go top of the Premier League with 2 games remaining. However, West Ham win tomorrow, goes out of Arsenal's hands and into Manchester City's hands. And if we can win out, we can win the Premier League. Arsenal's situation's very clear. They've got to win tomorrow, win against Burnley, and win the last game of the season away against Crystal Palace. Home game here for Man City, done and dusted. We've got 3 Premier League games remaining, 2 of them at home. Next up, Crystal Palace midweek, which will be my next live watch-along for you guys to enjoy. Also an away game to come against Bournemouth and a home game, final game against Aston Villa as well, along with that big FA Cup final next weekend as well to look forward to. Job done for Manchester City, as I said. Come on, you Irons. Let's see if West Ham can do us a big favour, our friends down in East London. All eyes turn on to that, the big game now. How's Arsenal bottle feeling ahead of that one? A win for Manchester City. Job's a good one. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's much appreciated. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Aiming for 100 likes. 43 likes away. We're quite far away, but any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the live chat whilst we're live here for another minute or so. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new around here. That would be much appreciated. Social media links in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by My Best 11 Pro. Remember, they've got their pools available for match day number 37 next weekend that you guys can go and join. £100 per pool. They've got fantasy covered, and they've also got predictions as well for you guys to enjoy. So do go and check them out. Links and details, they are in the description. And a big thank you to My Best 11 Pro for sponsoring today's live watch along. It is much appreciated. Anyone that does interact with them does help to support the future content created here on my channel. Big up to all my moderators helping to moderate today's chat as well. It is much appreciated. Jessica, thank you very much for tuning in. Hassan, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. It was great substitutions today for Manchester City. Andy Man, Seamus, Jean, Rick, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. It is much appreciated. Julia as well. And John, everybody, thank you for tuning in. It is much appreciated. I'll see you for the next one midweek. Wednesday it is. I think it's 8 p.m. kickoff time. BST. Manchester City taking on Crystal Palace in our next Premier League game. Our game in hand ahead of as we launch towards the finale of the Premier League. Do keep your eyes on East London. West Ham taking on Arsenal. You just never know. As I said, West Ham, if they can do us a favour tomorrow, things could get very interesting. City made them gains up on goal difference, so it's over to Arsenal now. What are they going to do ahead of their big Premier League game after an exhausting game against Atletico Madrid, which Arsenal managed to get the job done and win and get through to the Champions League final? So any distractions, anything that Arsenal aren't on it tomorrow, then maybe they could drop points, and West Ham need them to drop points because West Ham need points to stay in the Premier League. The permutations, the build-up just couldn't be higher. All attention now turns to East London. Guys, I'll see you all again for the Crystal Palace live watch-along on Wednesday. So, I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now. I'll also be back in the next hour or so for you guys to enjoy as well for my reaction from this game. So, stay tuned.